of drama in terms of the one-liners from James Comey, in terms of just the overall idea that the FBI director considered the president just fundamentally untrustworthy when he said the president lied about him and the FBI, when he said he was worried that he would lie about his private conversations, and that he came away from this entire experience with the impression that President Trump wanted him to lay off Michael Flynn and, in a larger sense, wanted to affect his investigation into Russia.
Yeah, and it was, I mean, they were parsing words, right? It depends what is. It depends, like, help means. Because Comey basically said, I don't care what he said. I sensed he wanted to interfere, and the Republicans were saying he never asked you.
Yeah, that's right. Senator Jim Risch, when he said, let's be clear, the president said, I hope you can let Michael Flynn go. He didn't say you must let Michael Flynn go, right? And Comey said, you're absolutely right. But when the president of the United States gets you, his employee in the executive branch, alone in a room and says, I hope something, you take it as a directive. If your boss says, I hope you're not late to the meeting on Tuesday, that's not a suggestion. So that is what Comey is parsing words over there. And at the end of the day, he says he was explaining his impression. But that's why I think senators this morning are sort of trying to figure out, do we trust his word over the president? Do we trust his impressions? What exactly do we make of all of this?
Yeah. James Comey also basically said he released his memos and wanted a special prosecutor because of Donald Trump's tweets.
It was we thought James Comey might have things up his sleeve, right? That there might be surprises we had not heard yet. I think a lot of us thought that those might be really damaging things to the president. Instead, the main surprise was this thing that Republicans are saying damaged Comey's own credibility, right? That because he thought the president was calling him out publicly and might try to sort of undermine this investigation into Russia, he felt it necessary to leak his private notes to a reporter. Now, legal experts we've talked to say there's nothing necessarily illegal. He was, like I heard you saying, he was a private citizen at the time. These are his own notes. You can sort of do what you want with them. However, people in the investigative field say this just is not done usually, that this is a very big breach of protocol for a former FBI director. And now you've got James Comey saying he did it essentially because he thought, again, that the president was in some way trying to change the Russia investigation.
One of the collateral damage from yesterday was former Attorney General Loretta Lynch and current Attorney General Jeff Sessions.
Yeah, one of the things that you've heard, especially from the sort of the GOP talking points that are making their way around here in Washington, is that, if anything, we can all agree it was a very bad day for the Obama administration. Now, that might be besides the point when you're talking about whether President Trump, obstructed justice or not. But it was worth raising your eyebrows at that. James Comey said Loretta Lynch directly said, let's call this a matter, not an investigation. And in a similar way to how he says he dealt with Trump, he didn't say, no, we're not doing that. Instead, he just kind of said, this is a hill not worth dying on, and he went ahead with it. And like you said, Jeff Sessions also, when he was told to leave the room eventually, he did. And then when James Comey was alone in the room and the president told him something, he said essentially, yeah, Michael Flynn's a good guy. I mean, this is a lot of people who say they're not really standing up to one another.
So, Brad Melke, where does all this go from here?
Well, what the Senate Intelligence Committee now wants is to actually see those memos that the rest of the world has basically seen at this point, except for them. So they want to see those. They want to hear any tapes, if there are tapes. In the meantime, the House Judiciary Committee says they want to speak to Jim Comey, and they might actually use subpoena power to do it. So he might not be done with his time on the Hill. And then the Senate Intelligence Committee wants to speak to more people. We just learned overnight Jared Kushner will meet with the Senate Intelligence Committee staff behind closed doors later this month, where they'll be asking sort of what he knows and what documents he might be able to provide. So every senator, Republican or Democrat, agrees this investigation is still very much just at the beginning.
Brad Melke, on a side note, it sounded like John McCain was speaking gibberish at the end. Did anybody understand what he was trying to say?
We were all looking at each other going, am I stupid or am I just not understanding anything that's happening right now? And later, McCain put out a statement saying that he missed an opportunity and that he probably didn't come across as very clear. But I think a lot of people were just very confused when he seemed to be conflating the Hillary Clinton email saga, which James Comey said ended, and that's why he made all these announcements, and the Russia investigation, talking about why he wasn't treating the two candidates the same in regards to Russia. Comey was confused. Everyone was confused. And McCain eventually basically apologized.
Brad Melke, great job. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for putting it into perspective. Have a good day.
Hey, thanks, McGraw.
626.